Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Hey there, thanks for joining me today. I'm really glad that you're here because I've got some exciting news. The book, it's here. It's here. I have my copy in my hands. I ordered it from Amazon and you can too, and many others already have. It's super exciting. This book is Heal Your Hunger, 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now. And this is my life's work. 30 years have gone into this book, and I've really crystallized everything I've learned in the past 30 years, not only from my own journey of overcoming emotional eating, but also working alongside my husband, spiritual healer Roy Nelson, and helping others heal all addictions. And then really researching and coming to understand from our experience of helping hundreds of emotional eaters what emotional eating is really all about. Because I really believe that, the diet and weight loss industry is completely missing the point. I mean, there are 35,000 books on weight loss, and there's over 650,000 books on fitness on Amazon, okay? That's a lot of books being read and bought and studied and tried. Their plans are being tried, and yet 98% of all diets fail. And I believe because everything that's out there is missing the point. They're overlooking the crux of the problem, which is emotional eating. So I'm super excited about this book. It's lovely. It's fun to touch and hold. It's not too big, so it's readable. You can sit down and consume it, if you will, in a very short period of time. Oh, and it has pictures, and I have cartoons in my book. Because, I always like looking at pictures. Ever since I was a kid, I liked pictures. So I wanted to make sure this book wasn't heady. It wasn't scientific. There's lots of books out there that are. But, I'm speaking from my heart to yours about emotional eating and the emotional eater's experience from my experience, because I've been to the depths of hell with emotional eating and food addiction. So I hope you'll pick up a copy on Amazon. I hope you'll share it with your friends and send them a copy, and family members. It's time to really understand what this is about. We talk about emotional eating out there in the world, and people joke about being an emotional eater or even a food addict. But what does that really mean? I mean, what does it mean? And that's what I want to share with you through this book, and also through a companion course that I've created. So if you're interested in joining me on the path of really digging into the contents of this book, I've laid it out in a program called 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now. So you can learn about that at healyourhunger.com. So let's get started with the topic for today, which is meditate or medicate? Your choice. Okay, I'm talking about this because I posted on Facebook the other day. That's all I said. I said meditate or medicate. And then I said, you choose. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of people who had something to say about this. And, some people are kind of defensive, saying, oh, you shouldn't shame people who need both or who medicate or whatever. And I didn't shame anybody. I put it out there, meditate or medicate, choose, and they're not mutually exclusive. Some people need medication and meditation. But I have to say that I'm not talking to the people who are literally chemically imbalanced and need to medicate. I mean, that's great if they need to and they do it, then they're going to be the better for it. I'm talking about the jillions of people out there who have symptoms like just being disorganized or absent-minded, or have anger problems or depression, or have a lot of worry or anxiety, or perhaps they've got relationship issues, or perhaps they're overeating or drinking or gambling or watching porn, or they're unhappy, or their jobs are unfulfilling. I mean, you name it. Every problem out there could be improved or helped with meditation. And yet so few people will meditate. And I have a feeling why, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But the bottom line is that I'm talking about the health benefits of meditation. And I'm really beating a drum here because I believe in it so strongly. And I do write about it in my book, of course. I mean, I've talked about this in my book because it isn't one of the steps, the 7 simple steps. It's sort of a subset of the 7 steps. I have something called the 6 self-care success secrets. And one of those success secrets is meditation. And so the reason why meditation is so important and germane to the emotional eater's experience is because I'd say it's either the top or almost the top reason why people have success with weight loss or with eating addiction or food addiction is because of meditating. And that's certainly the case for me. I mean, I attribute meditation. It's not the whole solution. I'll tell you, if I just meditated or hung at an ashram, I'd probably be eating at the ashram, or sneaking into the kitchen at night, wanting to eat the goodies. So it's not the whole solution, but it's definitely a part of it. And it's part of the self-care. But it has so many benefits emotionally. Like, it does balance my emotions. It helps me get perspective. I could be really like in a pissy mood and I'll go meditate, and all of a sudden I come out of it 20 minutes later and I'm refreshed, and hey, life's not so bad. I'm going to get through it. Nothing to worry about. I mean, it completely rearranges my perspective and my brain. And so I meditate twice a day, in the morning for 20 minutes, in the afternoon for 20 minutes. And my afternoon can fluctuate. If I'm at home and I meditated super early, I might meditate in the early afternoon. And that I've been doing that a lot lately, especially when I was working on the book, because I'd have a slump after lunch. So a couple hours after lunch, it was either medicate or meditate. I could either go to the kitchen and nibble on something, which, as I'm writing a Heal Your Hunger book, I really didn't think it was a good idea. Or I could meditate. And I did. I would meditate. And I was amazed at the benefits. That's actually what got me or inspired me to write the post that I wrote on Facebook, because I thought, wow, I mean, normally in my past life, I would go eat something if I was out of energy or slumping or trying to avoid my next project. But instead, I would close my computer and go meditate for 20 minutes. And it did exactly what I would want the food to do for me, but with no adverse side effects. I wouldn't gain weight. I wouldn't feel crappy about myself. I'd feel great and just empowered and refreshed and renewed. And I'd get back to work and I'd be clear thinking. I mean, that's the last thing food would do for me, right? Is give me a clear mind. It would just make me have foggy brain. So meditation has so many powerful benefits, and I want for you to try it. I do go into detail about it in my book, and I also offer through my book, I offer actually a training or a how to meditate recording, so you can actually learn how to meditate. And I mean, it's great. It's like a 30-minute. My husband gives the talk on how to meditate. He literally walks you through how to meditate, where you do it right there as he's talking. So I super highly recommend that. But let's look at some of the benefits. Improved brain function, like I said, better health, clearer focus, boosted creativity. I mean, I could not have written this book if it hadn't been for meditation, and prayer and everything else I do along the self-care lines. But forget about it. I mean, I knew I needed to connect with spirit, which is what meditation does for me. I needed to connect with spirit in order to be able to produce this book and write this book and have my thoughts come out clearly and articulately so you could consume them and enjoy them. More happiness, stronger relationships, more peacefulness. All these things are possible when we meditate. Now, why don't people meditate? Well, I have to tell you that if you're watching or listening right now, you get the meditation's great. You know it. Even if you don't do it, you know it. And you have a sense of it. Maybe you've tried it a few times or you've given it a shot and you've definitely felt benefit. But then you felt discouraged and you stopped. Or you got busy and you stopped. That's so typical, right? Well, one of the reasons why people don't meditate, and one of the objections I get when I teach about meditation in the 7 simple steps, is that people say, I don't have time to meditate. And I love this. They don't have time to meditate. Well, what do you have time for? And guess what? We always find time for the things that we deem important, right? You have time to listen to this podcast. Well, because you probably think it's going to benefit you, so you do it. You have time to check out some posts on Facebook. Why do you do it? Well, because you get benefit from it. It gives you a little diversion from your work or from, you're killing time or whatever, time that you say you don't have. Other things that you do, you hang out with family, you go to church. There's so many things you spend your day doing. You brush your teeth, you floss your teeth, you go to work. My goodness, you seem to have time for work, don't you? Well, the reason is because you know it's important. You got to keep the paycheck rolling in, so you go to work. Well, if you realized how important meditation is to your overall well-being and even your work performance, you would make time for meditation. But so much of the time, people don't really see the value. It's a little ethereal, a little woo-woo. It's like they know it's a good idea, but how's it really going to play out? Well, if I told you that you would eat 200 calories less every single evening if you went to your bedroom and meditated before going to the kitchen, would you find time to meditate? Probably. That's how important this is. I believe you'll literally eat less if you take time to meditate, because so much of the time we walk into the kitchen at the end of the day, we're spinning, we're moving fast, our minds are racing, and we go to the kitchen and we eat the same way. We're racing as we eat. We're stuffing the chips into our mouth. We're spilling dip on our hand, our blouse or something, because we're moving so fast. We just want to get the food in. Well, a lot of the reason why we're eating is because we're trying to calm down. We're trying to calm down, and the food is slowing us down. Even though we're eating fast, we're trying to derive from that food, from those carbs, from that sugar, a way to chill out, a way to slow down. We breathe when we eat. A lot of times smokers actually smoke because it helps them breathe. And they don't realize that's what they're doing. If they just did breathing exercises, they wouldn't necessarily need to smoke. So a lot of times the food is giving us that opportunity to chill down or chill out. And if you would go straight to your bedroom, as I said, and not go to the kitchen where you're racing and you're going to just be grabbing for something in the same racing mode, if you go to your bedroom and you light a candle, or you just put on some soft music, or you pull the curtains down, the shades down, and you sit on your bed and you just start breathing quietly and just chilling. If you do that, you will unwind. You will unwind and you will get calmer, and things will settle down inside your brain. Now, you may not be even meditating. You may literally just be lying on your bed and chilling out. And I highly recommend that. Whatever works for you. It doesn't have to even be meditation, but a timeout. We give our kids a timeout when they're rambunctious. Well, when our minds are rambunctious, they need a timeout too. So go to your bedroom, preferably meditate. It's enormously valuable. But if you can't, if it seems like too big a hurdle, start by just soft music and being quiet. Just 10 minutes. Just do that for 10 minutes. Preferably, again, you'll start trying the meditation. Definitely learn the meditation my husband teaches. We've been doing it for 30 years, close to 30 years. Well, he's been doing it for over 40 years. I've been doing it for close to 30 years. But so valuable and so easy, so incredibly easy. It doesn't cost any money. It doesn't have any bad side effects. It's just all good. But the bottom line is you'll go to the kitchen and you'll have perspective, and you won't be in that whirling dervish, state of mind. And it's so helpful for emotional eaters to meditate and to get perspective, especially because we're very emotional, right? And we're very emotional. We can get really pissed off really easy. We can go 0 to 10 in no time in terms of our anger. So try it. Definitely try it. One of the other reasons why we don't meditate is because we think that our minds won't slow down. Okay, so we sit there and our minds are thinking, and we're like, I can't do it. I'm doing it wrong. Guess what? The whole reason we meditate is because we have racing minds. And if you think meditators don't think thoughts when they meditate, you've got another thing coming. Because I think a lot when I'm meditating, and I don't mean to. It's involuntary, but my mind is processing thoughts as I'm meditating. But I have a mantra that I come back to that I don't say out loud. I just, it's just in my mind that helps me gently bring my thoughts back when they get wily. But the point is, it's never about having a totally quiet mind. That can happen, and it's delicious when it does. But people judge their meditation and they think they're not doing it right, so they don't do it. And I have to tell you that even if you sat for 20 minutes and thought the whole time, you would get enormous benefit from that sitting for 20 minutes. And again, start slower and with shorter amount of time if you have to. But if you could work your way up to 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon, it would be life transforming, I promise you, especially if you add a little prayer to it. I love to say a prayer. Roy taught me many moons ago to pray beforehand and pray after, just sort of bookend your meditation with a little prayer, which is sweet. But what I love about that is it brings spirit into the experience so that the meditation is more spiritual and not mechanical. And it works, I'll tell you. A lot of people think that they have to levitate when they meditate, or they're going to have great ahas when they meditate. And that's not my experience. What my experience is that when I meditate, it relaxes my mind and my psyche to the point where I have ahas throughout the day at other times when somebody's speaking or where something happens, some bit of information comes through the internet or through the television or somewhere, and I all of a sudden have an inspiration. That's when I get my big ahas. But I believe that if I didn't meditate, I would be blocked from that. I wouldn't be a clear channel for receiving that. And so that's how meditation helps. But if you have a racing mind and you think you can't meditate because your mind's moving too fast, the newsflash is you're a perfect candidate for meditation. Yes. People with racing minds should meditate. And even if their mind's raced for 20 minutes, it will absolutely benefit you. I always say if my mind just goes from 50,000 miles an hour to 10,000 miles an hour, that's a big benefit from meditation. Now, the last reason why people often don't meditate is they say, I can't sit still long enough. Again, no kidding. None of us like sitting still. You have to understand, meditation isn't easy. It's not like anybody. I don't hop, skip, and jump to my little meditation spot. I'd rather do other things a lot of the time. I'd rather do get to work or answer emails or go for a walk or text somebody or, watch the news program, whatever it is. People think that you have to like meditating in order to do it. But no, the whole idea of meditation is it disciplines your mind. This is like trying to put a kid to bed, right? Try to put a little one to bed. They don't want to go to bed. They want to stay up and play. They want to jump around and jump on the bed and get another glass of water and tell you another story and yap some more. So our minds are like little children where they don't want to sit still and they don't want to settle down. They don't want to go to sleep. But the fact is that when we do it anyway, we're disciplining our minds. And even more important, we're disciplining our egos. And our ego is yelling, hell no, I'm not going to sit down and be quiet. I'm running the show after all. Don't silence me. But the discipline of doing it anyway, oh my God, the enormous benefits are astounding. And so just realize you don't have to like it to do it. So much of the time emotional eaters are waiting till they want to do something in order to do it. No. There's a lot of things I do on a daily basis that I don't want to do. In fact, I did a whole podcast on it, and you might have seen the one where I had the ski helmet on. You can scroll back and check it out. But I listed a bunch of things I don't like to do that I do anyway because it helps me. And so meditation is a discipline. It's not easy. We all have monkey mind, but it will absolutely transform your world. So those are the three main objections. All I can say at this point is try it, absolutely try it. And the reason why, of course, is back to the topic here is if we don't meditate, we will medicate. Okay. And and this is the point of meditation is that, for me, I couldn't just not eat or overeat. I couldn't, put a lid on it. I mean, I was an out of control eater. But the thing is that as an out of control eater, I was reaching for things all the time to keep me going. I mean, this is what it means to be an emotional eater, is we stuff our emotions. Well, I didn't want to feel, so I needed to eat. I also, I didn't want to face my fears, so I'd reach for something to eat. Well, guess what? I can't do life on my own, okay? I was constantly using food because I needed extra support. I was afraid. I was in pain, emotional pain, and I felt very uncomfortable, and I wanted some support, something to bolster me, to get me by, get me through the life experience, because it was overwhelming to me. And it can be still. I mean, I'm still a fraidy cat. Living is still a daunting task for me. But the point is that if I'm not going to eat, if I don't want to be overweight, if I don't want to be trapped in the terrible downward spiral of food obsession and addiction, I'm going to have a substitute for medicating. And that to me is meditating. And again, I didn't even go into the whole idea of pills and what a pill addicted nation we are. And I'm not going there because it should be a whole nother show. That's why. But also because it's not the point. The point is, if somebody needs actual medication and pills to be chemically balanced, then they should do that. So I'm not bringing up the topic to strike a controversy between meditation and medication, or whether you should do both or anything like that. My point is, you either meditate or you medicate, okay? And we have to get support with living this life. And you're either going to get unhealthy support that has negative consequences, or you're going to get healthy support that doesn't have negative consequences. And meditation is one of those healthy supports for you. So I hope you'll try it. I know you've tried it before. I hope you'll try it again with a new perspective, that you don't have to do it right. And you don't have to even do it for very long, but try it, please. Just give yourself that little bit of time. And guess what? You have the time. You do have the time. And it may not have occurred to you, but you could set your alarm for a little earlier in the morning and get up a little earlier, which means you might have to go to bed a little earlier. Wow, another discipline for the ego. Not bad. Try it. Please try it. I think you'll find that you like it. So, and also, I'm just going to say that as an emotional eater, probably the reason why we don't do it that I didn't mention is because we're afraid of our feelings. And when we're quiet and still, we're afraid of the feelings that come up. And so the companion course that I've created called 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now can help you meditate. So check that out, because, and I'll put a link on the show here so you can learn more about that. But really important that sometimes this is just too much for us to do on our own. We do need support to do it. So I want to offer you that support in the Heal Your Hunger community, so you can be a part of that when you join our course. So that's it. I'm really happy that you joined me here. I hope you'll pick up the book. Please, this is what it looks like if you're watching. It's called Heal Your Hunger, 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now by Tricia Nelson. You'll love it. Order it on Amazon. If you have Prime, you'll get it the very next day. I did. Couldn't believe it. So I hope you'll check it out. Thanks so much. I want to be on this healing path with you. So please join me.
If you enjoyed this show and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.